Hey, what's going on, guys? How are your meatballs? Today I'm going to be talking to you about Black Ops Cold War Zombies, as well as the future of Call of Duty Zombies, a little bit of a follow-up to my most recent video where I told you guys I was worried about Cold War Zombies. But as I always tell you guys in streams and videos, I am a very positive person and like to look at the bright side of things at all times, while also staying very realistic, right? So on that note, I do believe that Cold War Zombies can still be a very, very good and fun overall game when it's all said and done. However, as of now, it is severely lacking content, and honestly, I think that's just its main issue. The mechanics are solid, you know, they incorporate game modes every once in a while, they pull that crank, that was pretty solid. Jingle House was a disaster, but I mean, in general, it's got a great foundation. We've talked about this before. It is just severely lacking content. There's the illusion that there's a lot of content, but there really isn't. Even with the first two maps that we have, they're pretty basic at the very most, so there's not too much there to really enjoy and take in and just dive into. You can do the Firebase Z Easter egg over and over and over again. That's very fun. That's replayable, but you can only do an Easter egg so many times. Playing casually is where the bulk of zombies in-game time is, and as such, I would love more, you know, casual or just regularly play, when you just regularly play zombies, I'd like that experience to be significantly improved. And I do believe that that will happen. And today, the reason why I am, making this video is to provide more hope. Not only, again, for Cold War Zombies, but mainly for all Call of Duty Zombies in general. Because who knows what's going to be after this? We don't really know if Sledgehammer is going to be making a Zombies mode. For all we know, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War could be having a second, full season. Now, I'm sure that would have been leaked by now or something would have happened with that. But there's something sus going on with Zombies. We don't know exactly how it's going to continue, when it's going to continue at the conclusion of the known Black Ops Cold War cycle. That's really the best way I can put it. But yeah, as of now, we have the illusion of a lot of content, really don't have that much at all in Zombies, which is making it feel very dry. Outbreak itself, also I'd like to note, hey, listen, I think Outbreak is cool and it has a lot of potential, but as of now, it is an incomplete mode. I know a lot of people are having fun with it, but it's new. Honestly, if it was, just think about 3 months from now, if Outbreak was exactly the way it is, or if Outbreak is exactly the way it is now, 3 months from now, people would not be playing Outbreak each and every single day and having the same amount of fun with it. It will get so boring, and obviously there's going to be updates and stuff like that, but I'm just saying, as of now, it is not the way they intended to release it. And I say that because opposed to the way it's supposed to launch, or the way it's supposed to be in Season 3, essentially, if it launched like that, it would last a lot longer than the way it launched now. That's assuming that there's no further updates, just taking it for what it is. So, what am I saying? Outbreak, and again, for those of you guys that don't know, Outbreak in Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies is a separate side game mode, but it's a major game mode, not like Cranked. It is intended to be a separate kind of experience, but still part and rooted in COD Zombies, right? And Outbreak right now launched with, I believe it was 3 maps, and the maps are cool. They introduce you to Outbreak. Again, it's almost like a tutorial kind of experience, just kind of letting you get the fundamentals down of Outbreak. Now, with Season 2.5 of Black Ops Cold War, we're going to be getting a few updates for Zombies, as well as we're going to be getting at least one brand new map coming to Outbreak. And on top of that, in Season 3, we're going to be getting the full Outbreak Easter egg. Now, I'm not sure what the deal is and how many maps we're going to have in Outbreak by the time this Easter egg launches, but ultimately my point is that Outbreak is an incomplete mode right now, and that's kind of proven by the fact that there's no Easter egg in it. All the maps aren't there, and it was kind of just thrown in as a filler for the sake of having content to throw in. And I don't mean that in a bad way. That's just kind of like the reality of it in my eyes. And going forward, once Season 3 launches, that is when Outbreak will pretty much be finished, because again, we're going to have another map, at least one probably coming in Season 2.5, and then on top of that, regardless of how many come in Season 2.5, we have the Easter egg confirmed to be launching at the beginning of Season 3 for Outbreak. So right then and there, that shows you that Outbreak at that point will most likely be finished, and the way that and actually, if they had to choose, probably would have liked to launch it from the get-go, but it didn't launch like that, okay? So that's that. I could be wrong about that, but that's just kind of how I look at it. It's very bare bones right now, and I do think it has a lot of potential because of that Easter egg, because of more maps being added, and the potential for them to just keep adding to it at any point in time, add more Easter eggs, add more side Easter eggs, main Easter eggs, more maps, side quests, all that stuff. There's a ton of stuff that they can do in Outbreak, and that's great. But as of now, where we stand, not in the best spot, at least in my eyes. So what am I saying? Why am I saying all of this? Because again, looking forward to the future, Outbreak, a lot of potential. Black Ops Cold War Zombies with more maps, a lot of potential if they continue down the route, or at least the trajectory from D Machina to Firebase C. And why am I saying that? Because in the last video I said, excuse me, I just burped. In the last video I said that I was very scared for Cold War Zombies, and going forward, I'm even more scared scared. But I also noted that it's because of what they said. They went on record of saying that they kind of want to cater more to casual players. Those weren't their exact words, but that's pretty much what they said. They wanted to cater more to the casual crowd in Cold War Zombies, and as such, they were making Easter eggs easier, kind of watering everything down. That's why we have characters telling us pretty much exactly what to do in each and every single map. And I talked about why that wasn't too much of a great thing and why it's going to wind up probably killing zombies as a whole if they continue down that route. But I also offered quite a few solutions, not necessarily maybe one solution that's kind of new, but I mean, you guys have also heard these solutions around the zombies community. Like, I'm not the only one to talk about this kind of stuff, right? But I talked about that aspect, and the reason why I'm excited for the future is, again, because we're gonna just be having more content. We can only assume that it's gonna get bigger and better, and hopefully as well they're gonna learn from the previous experiences, whether it's an outbreak or regular zombies. And by the way, I have some new information to talk to you about. I should have mentioned that earlier. But with all of the stuff going on in Black Ops Cold War Zombies, despite the minimal amount of content, they're definitely getting a lot of feedback, and as such, I really hope that in the future we have that, we could have that same experience that we had in the past of them, those characters on the maps like Peck, or I forgot the other guy's name, the guy in the spawn of Firebase C. I literally forgot his name, but we can have those guys telling us Easter egg steps and giving us items and stuff like that. We can definitely have that aspect to it, but at some point we can have a point where the main Easter egg or the hardcore Easter egg splits off from the casual / guided Easter egg. That's something that World War II Zombies has. This is probably something you're hearing more of as of late, and for Cold War Zombies and the direction they seem to want to take, not really the direction I see that they did take in Firebase C, but the direction that they said they want to take. Based off of that, I think the World War II, kind of Easter egg, the Final Reich, really, it was the only map to have that. That would be an amazing solution for this. Have that Easter egg that's guided, that's casual, that'll allow people to complete it without having to look up YouTube videos. That's also something they literally referenced. They don't want really people to have to look up a YouTube video to make things, right? So you can have that aspect to zombies, but also incorporate that hardcore aspect for us hardcore players that really do want that challenge, that really do want to actually have a real Easter egg hunt, that want to do greater puzzles and stuff like that. It's a very easy, I believe, solution to incorporate, and even if the cutscenes aren't different or the rewards are the same, even if that is the case, that would honestly be okay with me at this point, because I think that's better than just having full casual Easter eggs and kind of the map dying off in a sense at some point. Obviously, I talked to you guys about this a lot. The Easter eggs are only one portion of zombies, right? The Easter eggs are not everything. Although I love Easter eggs, and Easter eggs could almost make or break a map, and pretty much do, they are not everything, because when it comes down to it, casual zombies is at its root the most important thing. And if the casual zombies aspect is there, then that will do good things despite the Easter egg, regardless of the Easter egg, because at some point you're gonna not want to do the Easter egg and just play casually. There's very few people who just do Easter eggs all day every day, and that is like the hardest of the hardcore people. And again, as long as the Easter eggs are playable, regardless of kind of the situation around it, it doesn't matter all too much. Those people will still be satisfied. Like Firebase C, for example, the Easter egg is very replayable, fairly quick, and fun to do. It's not tedious, which is something that I always look out for. A non-tedious Easter egg like the Rosendrack as well flows very well, not tedious, fun to run through. That's what I've been comparing Firebase C to in a way as well, and I really do think they did a good job with that Easter egg. My point is that it's not as in-depth as a Rosendrack Easter egg even is, or a Zetsubo or a Gorod Krovi, right? But it still flows very well, and it gets the job done. It satisfies people that want to speedrun. So, just ignoring what I just talked to you guys about for like 5 to 10 minutes about the Easter egg quest being harder and more complicated for the hardcore players in general. Now moving on to the casual gameplay, that has to really be solid to drive all of the maps. So what does that really mean? Well, obviously, I mean, Cold War Zombies already has pretty solid casual gameplay, but the wonder weapons in the maps have to be solid. Like, for example, in D Machina, the DIE really isn't all too great. They're cool, but they're not really all too great and useful when compared to the ray gun. You might as well just use the ray gun. So there's got to be some kind of drive for people to want to play each and every single map casually. Like, you go to Gorod Krovi, you want to get the Ray Gun Mark III. You go to Zetsubo no Shima, you want to get the KT4. You want to get the Marshals. That's why I even said we should have unique weapon pools on each and every single map, and screw this DLC weapon stuff. Sure, you can have your DLC weapons, you can have them unlocked in zombies, and if you want to use them, you can. Just spawn in with them with your loadout. If you don't spawn in with them, you can't use them on the main map unless Treyarch decides to incorporate them in as a wall weapon or a box weapon. I believe it's a very simple solution and would go a very far way, because think about it. Drac has pretty much all the weapons as Shadows Evil and the Giant, but then when you go to Zetsubo no Shima, there's like a divergence. You have the Marshals, like I said, you have the HD-40, and I believe you have another weapon, at least one other weapon, I believe, somewhere else. Maybe it's the KT-4 I'm thinking of, but wonder weapons aside, you have other weapons on these maps that make it more unique and more interesting, and you're going to probably even use when you go to that map. Like I just said, Zetsubo, right? Marshals, the first map that comes to, the first gun that comes to mind. fine. So DE, you use whatever, really using the bows, right? But as a secondary, you use whatever you want. But then because it's so unique, Zetsubo, Marshals, pretty much the best gun on the map. Next, Gorod Trophy, what do you think? The PPSH, you're playing co-op, maybe doing the Easter egg, or even playing casually with your bad friends, Shadow Claws, go for it. Revelations, probably going to wind up using the Apothecon Servant and/or Thunder Gun. It's more of a unique situation. I'm sorry that I'm talking so fast, by the way, but it's more of a unique situation, right? Because the Thunder Gun and Apothecon Servant were really there, and the Ornies and all that to make the experience very easy and feel very fun because you're overpowered. But you have the Rifty 9, and that's actually very, very good in Revelations as well. You know where I'm going with this? There's a lot of uniqueness in each of those 3 DLC maps, and even if you go back to Origins, Mob of the Dead, and Buried, think about the weapon pools on each of those 3 maps as well. I mean, Thompson, Mob of the Dead, probably you may not use that per se, but you got that. I mean, even if you go to Buried or, you know, even Die Rise, you have the AN-84, and in Origins, you have the MG08. Now, there's a lot of other varying weapons in Black Ops 2 that you could use throughout each and every single one of these maps, but those are just some examples of how the weapon pool, just the weapon pool alone, and the wall weapons and the box weapons, aside from the wonder weapons, directly influence the regular base casual gameplay of the map, you know, aside from the theme of the map, and again, aside from the wonder weapons and aside from all that stuff, because all that stuff is really great and obviously do contribute to the way the map flows and feels. But ultimately, if you have the same guns every single map, it just gets a little bit dry. And the best example of that, again, was World War II Zombies. We've talked about this in the past. They brought in a ton of DLC weapons, they threw them all in the box, and it kind of ruined the box experience. It's like 40 weapons in the box, and BO4 kind of did that as well, which got annoying as well. But I mean, it was a little bit more manageable because I believe there were less weapons in BO4. I could be wrong about that, but it didn't feel as bad in BO4. And with this game, they really don't put all the weapons in the box, which is good, but I still think that Treyarch should ultimately be picking our weapon pool and varying, really, the weapon pool that they pick per map, because that would help out a lot with the base gameplay. Now, this video isn't really about what I want Cold War Zombies to be. It's just a direct talk, again, a follow-up to my previous video. And again, why am I saying that there's hope? Well, again, Treyarch has already changed the path in which they incorporated DLC weapons, not putting each and every single one in the box, which leaves hope that they vary up the wall weapons even more, that they vary up the box weapons even more as we go on throughout the game's life cycle with each and every single map. Is there evidence that they're going to do that? Absolutely not. I mean, not a lot. Really, just what I said is that they really didn't incorporate every box or DLC gun into the box, right? But other than that, we don't know for sure that they're going to vary them up like they did with DLCs 2, 3, and 4 in Black Ops 2 and 3, right? But it would be great if they did, and I definitely think that they may be thinking about it because of the fact that they didn't incorporate each and every single box weapon into the box, or new DLC weapon into the box. That's that. So there's light right there. I mean, like I said, there's light with the Easter eggs, because Firebase Easter egg is drastically better than D Machina, and hopefully they're listening to community feedback, and there's going to be some kind of divergence or some kind of addition to future Easter eggs in Black Ops Cold War that'll allow us to have even more fun if we're more of a hardcore player and want to do Easter eggs and want more of a challenge than just a casual guided Easter egg, whether it's on day one hunting the Easter egg or after. Hopefully that does exist at some point. And even if it doesn't, the route that they're continuing down is still pretty solid for Cold War Zombies in terms of Easter eggs. So even at worst case scenario, I don't think we're, you know, necessarily sitting in a pool of shit, if you get what I'm saying. So I think there's definitely light in both of those areas. Now, talking about, you know, bringing this further, why am I even more excited about the future of zombies now? Well, 2 things. One, in terms of Cold War, we have Zombies Chronicles 2 more than likely coming. They have not officially acknowledge this, but you guys already know what the deal with that. I have plenty of videos on my channel. I'm going to probably try to make a new video on it very soon as well, but for the most part, you know, Zombies Chronicles 2 is going to probably be coming into Black Ops Cold War, considering nothing has changed since the last I heard about it, and it's going to definitely add that factor. And I don't know if it'll be free, I don't know if the deal will be if and when it actually does happen, but it'll definitely add a lot of spice to Black Ops Cold War Zombies. It will add a lot of spice, especially since the mechanics are so good. Just imagine playing on those maps refined to be even better than they originally were. Now, I know people don't really love Transit or Die Rise, and a lot of people do have a lot of fun on Buried, but these maps will be revised to more fit Cold War's mechanics, and as such, the Easter eggs will probably be brand new and stuff like that. We don't really know for sure if and when these maps come in exactly how they'll work, because they've gone through some different phases, because they were initially supposed to come to Black Ops 4 Zombies, but we can only assume that they would not be a direct one-for-one copy and paste as with Zombies Chronicles 1.0. You've seen the routes they've taken in Black Ops 4 Zombies, you've seen the routes they've taken in Cold War Zombies, and more more than likely it'll follow the BO4/Cold War route of expanding upon the base maps. And that's something to be very excited about, at its base. So that's cool. That's another reason why I'm very excited for Cold War Zombies. Moving forward, I want to talk about something that Tom Henderson said. So let me just read this. So somebody said, always wanted to ask you, is Zombie Story connected with Warzone in the future? Tom Henderson said, after the new map, which he means after this brand new Warzone map, I believe it's going to be coming in April, he says there's no more Zombies plus Warzone planned. So basically what that means is that Zombies and Warzone together, that's not currently planned to be happening any further right after this new map. The Zombies and Warzone right now is essentially just meant to kind of lead us into the new map, to kind of still be fun, to bring Zombies into Warzone for the sake of it, because they do it periodically, in Fortnite as well. They bring the Zombies in, and this is a good time to do it as the map is coming to an end, and to just, again, even, I guess, indirectly promote Cold War Zombies and promote people to want to buy Cold War Zombies, if you will, right? People are playing Warzone for Modern Warfare, and they realize, hey, I like killing zombies. Let me go buy Cold War and play zombies in that game. You know what I mean? Like, there's another aspect to it right there. They know exactly what they're doing. It's a great marketing technique. There's people all over making, blogs and videos about zombies infesting Warzone, and ultimately this will lead to a new map. So that's the reason why there's Zombies in Warzone right now. And Tom Henderson goes on to say that the third map will come via a different route. So I'm assuming he's talking about another Warzone map after the current one coming in. I don't know why he's talking about that, but we'll worry about that when it gets closer, because I don't know what exactly that really does mean. And the more important one of the comments that Tom Henderson made yesterday, I should mention this was yesterday, somebody said, thank God, Zombie should have its own storyline and universe. And Tom Henderson actually retweeted this. There's big things planned for Zombies. It won't just be a third game mode for long. And this is very important because of a previous tweet he said, actually, I believe it was last week. So I had to do a little bit of digging just now, but this tweet was actually from February 23rd, so it was almost a month ago already. He said, there's a separate Call of Duty Zombies project in early development, which you guys probably already heard, right, from people like DK, the Gaming Revolution. I'm sure they probably talked about this already. I've just been absent for a little bit. It took a little bit of a break, so I'm kind of catching up on everything and talking to you guys and giving you guys my thoughts on this stuff now. But basically, Tom said, there's a separate Call of Duty Zombies project in early development that is currently not connected to any title. And what he means by this, presumably, is that there's going to be a standalone Zombies title, and it's in early development right now, which means it's probably not going to launch anytime in the next year. But once it's complete, it will be its own unique thing that's not connected to, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies. It will be Call of Duty Zombies, just as Call of Duty Warzone is. I'm not saying that'll be the exact name of it, but it'll be its own standalone thing like that. And who knows, maybe it'll be free to play. We don't really know, but that's another reason why I'm very excited for the future of Zombies, because it's actually getting love. Activision recognizes that Zombies is a very big game mode and has a lot more potential to expand even further than it was pretty much in Black Ops 3 Zombies, and make them a lot more money than Black Ops 3 Zombies initially did, because Black Ops 3 was massively successful on so many different levels of bringing in money in multiplayer and zombies, and mainly zombies, because MP, they always find ways, but zombies was the real game that they made a nice killing on, and it was because of the Gobblegums. Now, I'm not saying that in this next game Gobblegums are going to come back and that's how they're going to make their money, but my point is that they're very much focused on how to make this money with zombies. And if they're focused on how to make the money, most likely they're focusing, again, this is going to be a standalone game that we all wanted forever, and it's going to probably be a game that we're going to want to play. It's going to really be one of those games that we're going to be enticed to go out and buy as real hardcore Zombies fans, and that's exactly why I'm very excited for this future Zombies title coming up. And again, this is just, there's very little substance here, because it's just, although Tom Henderson said it, there's definitely credibility, and I do not doubt at all that it's in development. This is still early talk. At any point they can give, they can cut ties on that, because it's an early development, and that's it. But I'm very excited to hear that they have at least considered and started working on a standalone Zombies game. And who knows, listen, I don't want to push it too far, because I don't even know if he's still working with Activision per se, but just imagine, right? Like, I doubt it. I'm not saying that this is the case, because more than likely is not. I literally have no idea what his situation is, but just imagine that Blundell was working on the standalone Zombies game, right? Like, just imagine how sick that would be. Again, just assume that it's that's not happening. I don't know if he's still with Activision, like I said. I don't know if he just left Treyarch, but just that would be so sick, wouldn't it? Anyways, moving forward, hey, we can all hope, right? Moving forward, I wanted to talk to you about two more comments that I had saw Tom Henderson make, because they were actually pretty important. Okay, so one of them is, he said, I'm not sure on the next Zombies map. I'm not sure on when the next Zombies map is coming, but if I was to guess, halfway through Season 2 seems logical. And I'm going to talk about why this may not make too much sense right now. He says, I don't think they want to take too much away from Warzone Season 3 event. That's also true. Releasing a new map when old Zombies in Warzone gets nuked doesn't make sense to me. There's a mid-Season 2 update coming, so if they were to release it, it would obviously release at the beginning of Season 3. So if it doesn't release then, it would obviously release at the beginning of Season 3. So I think that's fair to say, but this is how I look at it right now. And we really don't know what the case is going to be, right? right? But this is the deal. Right now, I talked about this, I believe, earlier in the video. It's seeming that we're going to be getting a new map, at least one new map at season 2.5, alongside some other side things in zombies, right? At season 2.5, and that'll be cool and all, but it's just going to probably be that, and then at the beginning of season 3, and then it's going to be for Outbreak, by the way, not just a new map, a new Outbreak map, and then at the beginning of season 3, we're going to have that Outbreak Easter egg be fully launched to us. So by the beginning, from season 2 to 3, it'll be season 2, Outbreak launches, season 2.5, new maps added to Outbreak, and season 3, the Outbreak Easter egg launches alongside Warzone's, alongside Warzone's new map, essentially, right? I can definitely see that being a very probable and likely timeline. Now, that's not to say that we couldn't, they could entirely announce a brand new zombies map tomorrow if they wanted to, right? Like they could do that, and it can come in season 2.5, right? Or even a little bit before the brand new season releases, right? They could definitely do that as well. It's entirely possible, but it's just seeming like that they're going to be holding this map off for a while. Like I literally wouldn't be surprised if we don't get our next zombies experience until the middle of season 3, and I really hope that's not the case. And I'm not saying that I think that's going to be the case. I'm just saying that I wouldn't be surprised if it's going to be, if they disperse the content like that. New Outbreak map, then the Outbreak Easter egg in season 3, and then season 3.5. That's alongside the new Warzone map, I should also mention, and then a new zombies map at season 3.5, or maybe even shortly after that. Maybe it doesn't even make the halfway point, but shortly after the launch of season 3. They could also do that. It doesn't have to be at the beginning or direct midpoint of each season, so that's cool. But we ultimately have to wait and see. I'm just saying, don't be surprised, don't let it shock you if there's no new zombies map announced for like a while. It could entirely come again very soon, but it could also be a very long time. Here's the hoping that it won't be a long time, but at the very least, let's hope that regardless of how long it takes, that again, they go forward, that they progress onward and upward, just like they did make the jump from D Machina to Firebase C. Hopefully they make the jump from Firebase C to the next map, which again is most likely a Berlin map. I'll probably have a video kind of recapping and discussing the future DLCs in Black Ops Cold War Zombies and kind of like what the deal is with them, but in general, the next map is most likely going to be that Berlin / kind of Kino map that you guys have been hearing about for a while. And again, the launch date for that is to be determined. Again, it's not necessarily supposed to be a Kino remake. It's supposed to be a brand new map with kind of Kino inside of it. But from what I've been hearing and seeing around the community, can't really confirm because I haven't dove or really asked around too much into this, is that it would essentially be its own brand new map that featured Kino as part of it. Or who knows, maybe it would even be the outside of Kino for all we know, right? Because from what we saw on the maps, it was essentially supposed to be around the block or down the block from Kino, this Berlin location. So it wouldn't be surprising if we did see Kino featured in it at some point in time. This is a new information, just kind of, stating it for the record. Now, the last thing I kind of want to talk to you guys in terms of, just bundling up a bunch of different information is this tweet from Tom Henderson where he says the Call of Duty end goal for all games is, the Call of Duty end goal is for all games to be connected more clearly than they were in the past. Warzone is the start, Zombies is next. Now, what exactly that means, we have no idea, but you already know that we have Zombies kind of combined and kind of mixed, I guess that's the right word, kind of mixed, swindled in to the campaign storyline, and I do believe that they have always been kind of connected, cross-connected, not Warzone, just Zombies and campaign in a sense, but the connection there has been so light and so overlooked for a while that they're really starting to tighten those connections because everything's being tightened across the board. This is, I guess this is really what the tweet means, is that because they tightened the connection between Zombies and campaign, that will then allow them to tighten the connection between all the game modes, because, campaign is tightened to MP, and because Zombies is kind of like getting tighter and closer to campaign, that makes it closer to MP. And same deal with Warzone, when all of the storylines are being connected with the current game out there. Like, for example, the Black Ops storyline or universe was connected and tightened with the Modern Warfare one, so everything's a lot more closer now, if you get what I'm saying. They're trying to bring everything closer together and make it more clear and kind of allow more flow, allow for a more seamless flow. And presumably this is just because if they continue the storyline, or they want to do when there's basically a new developer making a new game and adding to their story, it's not necessarily going to cause big issues storyline wise and with even design wise when figuring out what to do next in Warzone or MP maps or even Zombies. Everything can kind of cross connect. So that's that. Again, the real point of this video was to tell you guys and kind of explain to you why I have a lot of hope for Black Ops Cold War Zombies still. Again, we really just to recap, we haven't seen much from them so far. The game's significantly lacking content, which means that there is still a decent amount of content to come in, especially if Chronicles is actually going to 100% come in, which which again, we don't 100% know for sure, but if it just say it is to come in, which I believe is very likely that it is, then in Black Ops Cold War Zombies, we would have a lot more experiences than we thought we were going to get just off the bat, right? And then on top of that, we have at least one more regular DLC map coming in. We have Outbreak going to be full-fledged with more maps and a full Easter egg coming in as well. Hopefully, they also learn from what we've been telling them and they actually make the Easter eggs more complex and harder to some extent, right? Because they have a lot of time to listen to feedback now. Also, hopefully, they listen to us about the weapon pool. And at the very least, they are going down a decent route with the weapon pool. At least at the very least, keeping the weapon pool similar to the launch map and not, you know, adding a shit ton of DLC weapons to the box and really making it a crap show when spinning the box, if you get what I'm saying. So there's a lot of ways to look up for Cold War Zombies. I'm not saying that the game's going to wind up better than Black Ops 3 Zombies, because right now, to be honest, it's not looking very good, although the base mechanics are pretty much, to me, the same, or even, I wouldn't say better, they're either equal or a little bit less than Black Ops 3 Zombies, the mechanics, because they are pretty solid. The actual content in the game is just not there. It's significantly lacking, and hopefully, going forward, if they do the few things that I said in this video, which again, aren't far-fetched things, these aren't, it's as much of a kind of like wish list that it is, it's not really, you know, a real wish list. These are very realistic things that we've seen in the past that I'm asking for and talking about, and are very possible to be incorporated at any point in time. So that's why I do think the future is very bright. And of course, again, at the very least, we have a standalone zombies game being talked about and worked on, and they're tying zombies to the main storyline and storylines and all that. So zombies isn't being neglected is really what I'm getting towards, and that at its, you know, at the very least is a good thing, because we don't want to see the mode being neglected. If we continually saw zombies get neglected and thrown to the side, then that would be an issue. There would be more room to worry, you know, aside from what they said about the Easter eggs, because, you know, maybe that was an overreaction from my part, but I'm just scared that if they do continue down that route, that it would, that stuff's going to go bad. But again, that could only be for regular zombies tied to the current COD. Maybe each zombies game tied to the current COD is a little bit more basic, and then the standalone zombies game, again, is made for hardcore players. That could be entirely possible, but again, that's another discussion for another, excuse me, I just burped. Dude, I always burp and like have indigestion every single video. It's weird. But we talked about it a lot today. This is a very long video. I had a lot of fun talking about it. I laid all my cards on the table, gave you guys all my thoughts, talked about the future zombies, talked about the current status of zombies, included some brand new information that you guys may or may have not have heard already from Tom Henderson and from some other places. We talked about Zombies Chronicles 2.0, and now we're officially, I believe, all caught up in terms of zombies information and kind of where stuff is looking to be heading in future videos. In future videos, I'll be talking to you guys, hopefully the next video I upload, maybe not the next one, but very soon, it'll be about Berlin and the next kind of actual zombies DLC release and what the sake is with that, what the deal is with that. But that is not ready just yet. That has not even been started, so I'll look out for it soon. But yeah, as for now, make sure if you guys did enjoy the video, to drop a thumbs up, as well as make sure you are subscribed to the channel for a bunch of elite Black Ops Cold War Zombies videos. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care of your meatballs.
I've been wishing for some better days.